Hello, and thank you for watching Word from Wise, Bus Stories, Flowers in the Streets. Today I want to talk about an OG named Slim that used to ride my Line 4 and Line 72 through Felony Flats. And I think he's been on a few other of my routes. He would pop up all over the city, but he mainly rode Line 4 and Line 72. Now, Slim was a baby boomer. I'm Gen X, in case y'all didn't know. He was a baby boomer, so he was much older than me when I met him. And he was a tall, slender brother that what we say in the hood, he was dark chocolate. He was a dark chocolate, tall, slender brother. And when I met Slim, he had a cane. And every time he rode my bus, people would talk about him soon as he got off the bus, telling stories about how he had several pimped out caddies and Lincolns. Back in the day, he was a pimp. He had beautiful women, and he used to run numbers. He used to sell drugs. He just was a general street hustler. He was an real OG from the '70s, y'all. Back when pimping had balls and notoriety and all that good stuff. And that was before my day. But when I met Slim, he had a cane and he was a heroin addict. And some people say that was karma, that since he sold drugs back in the day, that's how he ended up being an addict. And there may be some truth to that. You reap what you sow. But he was a real OG, y'all, that treated me with a lot of respect, and I liked him from the moment I met him. He always treated me with big respect. And whenever he was on my bus, he was like my private security. There would be brothers that get on my bus that try to hustle me for the fare, excuse me, or they would be hitting on me inappropriately, and Slim would, just shut them down. He always had my back, and he actually made me feel safer when he was on the bus. So anyhow, I started getting messages over, TriMet would send messages over the BDS system saying there's a black male at the corner of Alberta and Killingsworth or whatever. He's a rolling biohazard. He smells like urine. Do not pick him up. I'd pick him up anyway. He never was going more than 20 blocks, I just, he would never be going further than Martin Luther King. And it's hard for me to pass up handicapped people. So, sometimes I would, other bus drivers say you need to go home, get yourself cleaned up before you can ride. And there's been people I've told that to, but I never did Slim like that. He never was going far, so I always let him ride, And so anyway, one day he was out in the blazing sun. Like I said, this was a real OG. He's seen the streets change. It used to be a time, they had rules back in the day. Back in the '70s, they had rules. Only time a brother got killed back then was over like some serious beef. But with all the gang turf wars in the '80s, brothers started doing drive-bys, and 5-year-olds was getting killed, and 2-year-olds getting killed. So Slim wasn't from that day. He was from back before, earlier in the day. I had a lot of respect for Slim. He had a lot of respect for me, so I pick him up. So anyway, one day he was on the corner of, I think it was Killingsworth and Alberta, and I was doing another route in the morning, but I saw messages over the BDS, which is the bus dispatch system, the computer in the bus. And they said there was a black man at the corner of Alberta and Killingsworth or whatever. Do not pick him up. He's a rolling biohazard. And I knew they was talking about Slim. I ended up doing the 4 later that day, that route. And I saw him. And it was like 102 degrees outside. I honked the horn, but my bus was packed. I couldn't get off like I normally do and go shake him and give him some water and say, come on, man, get on the bus. I had to pass him up. And so me and dozens of bus drivers passed him up all day. It turned out that Slim was dead. And he died in them streets. And, I'm trying not to get emotional. He was a beautiful person despite. Now, don't come at me. I'm not advocating the pimp lifestyle or selling drugs or anything like that. I'm just saying that OG Slim was a beautiful person. He always treated me with respect. And I couldn't tell bus stories without talking about Slim, who lived and died in them streets. So this story was dedicated to OG Slim. And that's all I got to say, y'all. Thank you for listening to my bus story, Flowers in the Streets. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.